Alright, YouTube, we're gonna go through some of the books that I will accept zero criticism on. I don't care who you are, but these books are my ride or die. They are not necessarily like the most popular books that you've ever heard of. This isn't gonna be like Court of Thorns and Roses and Throne of Glass because everybody knows those books are good. I'm gonna be going through some of the ones that I think are amazing that don't get enough hype. So starting off strong, it's going to be the Bonds That Tie series by J. Bree. I'm obsessed with this series. It is so freaking good. The first book is going to be the Bonds That Tie series by J. Bree. I am obsessed with this series. Some of the tropes that are in it are going to be why choose, reverse harem. There's elemental magic in it, enemies to lovers in almost all of the books because the 5 men that are bonded to the girl in this book are chef's kiss. Literally chef's kiss. Like, please read this series. Next up is going to be Heartless by Elsie Silver. This is the second book in the Chestnut Spring series. I love this series so far. I need to continue reading it. This is the last book that I read in the series. So cowboy romance. It is about a dad who's looking for a nanny for his kid, and in the first book you meet Summer, who's the main female character in that book. Her best friend Willa is going to be the one that ends up nannying his kid, and it follows both of them, and it is just so good. Next up in the books that I will accept zero criticism on is King of Greed by Anna Huang. This is the third book in the King of Sin series. I was obsessed with this book. It's second chance romance, but she does it so well. I'm not even kidding you. This book is amazing. Basically follows Dominic. If you've read some of the books before, Dominic, who is married, him and his wife are having issues, and basically his wife leaves him, and it's basically him trying to win her back. It's a billionaire romance, so good. Now, the next two are some really popular books, but I wanted to include them here because they're not as popular as Throne of Glass and A Court of Thorns and Roses, and that is going to be Powerless and Powerful, the novella. Powerless is so amazing. If you haven't read it yet, you need to. It follows Peyton, who isn't ordinary. She does not have powers, which makes this book so much different than all the other books that I've ever read because all of the female main characters have really strong powers. She does not. Now, she has to survive in a world where she doesn't have powers and the powerless ones get killed. And so she's put through these trials and she needs to win them. And there's romance, there's such good banter, enemies to lovers, amazing. And this novella follows her best friend Adina and what she's basically doing while Peyton is in the trials. And it is... And last but not least is Archer's Voice. This is another popular book talk book, but I've heard some hate on it. But I'm sorry, I will accept no hate from this book because it is amazing. Small town romance, definitely summer vibes, so it's perfect for this time of year. But it's about a girl who basically moves into this new small town, and she meets this boy who does not speak. He uses sign language, and she luckily had a father who used sign language as well, so she's able to communicate with him. And the whole town sort of thinks he's a weirdo, and so it basically follows her and her story of learning who he is, and it's amazing. Now, those were some of the books that are my picks for accepting no criticism. There's a few others, but they're extremely popular book talk books, and I just don't want to get into it because I'm sure you've seen so much about them. So these are my more unique picks. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any recommendations for me or any questions or comments, definitely leave them in the comments.